SystemsWiki Collaborate. Trash. Trash within the Kumu context operates somewhat like the trash on your desktop and somewhat differently. If you create an item, and I'm just going to create a connection, no, I don't want to create a connection, I'll create an element called something nice and original. For items, you can select the item and you can either hit the little trash can down here or you can hit the delete key and you'll get a message to verify that you really want to delete it. And once you delete it, it puts it in the trash. And you can look in the trash by going to the three bars in the upper left-hand corner and selecting trash. And it will show you can look at all of the different things that are in the trash. And it currently says there are 2 elements, 1 connection, and 1 loop. You can select these items and destroy them one at a time, or you can click here and destroy all of them. Now, the nice thing about the elements is that if you delete an element by accident, you can get it back immediately by doing undo. But if you delete an element and you work on something and you go away and you come back tomorrow and realize that you really didn't mean to delete the element, if you say you want to add an element and you say something, notice that it not only does it know the elements that are part of the map, it also remembers the elements that are sitting in the trash. So if I select something, it will bring that back out of the trash. And it will bring it back out of the trash with all of its properties, so that if I made this particular element a stock so that it was yellow and I added a description, this is some text, and then I go ahead and delete this, I said I could bring it back by simply doing an undo and it'll come back. But if I come back tomorrow, if I leave the project and come back, I can't use the undo, but I could still go ahead and say I want to add an element and say I want to add something. It knows that because it's been typed, if I select this, hit enter, it will bring something back, and it will bring it back with the parameters that were defined for it. Now, you can't bring back, if you delete a connection, you can undo it in the current session. You can't get a connection, or the same thing happens with the loop. If I delete a loop, I can do an undo and get it back from, I can use undo and get the loop back. I can't get connections or loop labels back out of the trash. Once they go to the trash, they're there endlessly. So just remember that at least for elements, if you delete them, you can get them back out of the trash. My recommendation, though, is that if you create elements to be part of the map that you're working on, and you decide at some point that you don't want this element as part of the map, my recommendation is that you pull it out of the map and you put it down in the corner someplace, and you actually add a description to it as to why you took it out of the map. The reason for that is that sometime in the future, you're apt to think about, well, maybe this should be part of the map. And if you kept it, you will have a note as to why you had it in the map and took it out for some reason. It also could prove beneficial if you're explaining the map to someone else and they say, what about so-and-so or such and such? And you say, well, we thought about that. And if you don't keep it, the likelihood that you will remember specifically why it was that you took it out, if there are dozens and dozens of elements as part of the relationship map, are highly unlikely. So I recommend that you keep them. If you look at the rural community food system map that we're working on, there are numerous elements down here that we have put in or taken out that aren't part of the map at the moment, but probably were at some point in time. Or we have said, we think this element goes someplace, but we don't know where it goes yet. So this is basically how the trash works. And the reason that I don't recommend taking elements that were part of the map and actually putting them in the trash, because you might want to revisit the particular aspect of the relationship at some point in the future. So hope this has been beneficial, and I'll see you in another video shortly. Bye.